ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new box office breakdown show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Murray. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do this box office breakdown show every single month with other movie, TV show reviews, movie rankings. Comment down below, what did you see in movie this weekend? What are you going to see this upcoming weekend? And please like the video. Today on this video, we're going to talk about the overall box office domestically for the weekend of September the 9th to September 11th, and then we're going to break down the 2022 domestic and worldwide charts. So please do all those things before we start this video, and let's get into the chart. So kicking off the weekend at number one is the newest movie of the week, the biggest United States film of the week domestically, and that was Barbarian, which was supposed to open around $5-6 million. The word of mouth, it got to 10.5 million in 2,300 theaters. Really surprising and positive number that the people are in the mood for a surprise horror film. Now, again, this is not a special number with no really main A-list actors in the lead role. A movie that was promoted not the way that the movie is shown, and cinema scores are pretty divisive. I understood that with honestly most movies are these days, but this is, I think, had like a near C cinema score, which is really bad for a cinema score. But still, the word of mouth of how surprising it is, how scary it is. It's one of my biggest surprises in the movies all year long. Really happy that Barbarian got to over $10 million. It's supposed to be 5 or 6, which would be a really weak opening for this movie, but 10.5 is really good, especially for some of these other movies that have come out the last couple of months that you would think have done well but didn't. This film did better than expectation, which is nice to see. And this is also from 20th Century Fox, which basically means it is a Disney-owned film. We have an international film here in the domestic top 5, and that is with if I say this wrong, I'm so sorry. Brahmastra Part 1 Shiva from Foxstar India, in only 810 theaters, under 1,000 theaters. It gets to number 2 with 4.5 million. We've been seeing that both anime films and really Indian films have really taken over here in the United States. Both have done really well domestically. And add another one to the list. This is from, again, Bollywood in India, with Brahmastra Part 1 Shiva doing 4.5 and under 1,000 theaters. We'll see based on this number if it will expand to over 1,000 theaters or it will stay under. But definitely one of the best. It had the best per theater average in the top 5 with $5,609 per theater, just edging Barbarian by just over $1,000 per theater. So good stuff for those two movies coming out. Then we kind of get to the rest of the list. Number 3 is Bullet Train from Sony, $3.3 million, a 43% drop in its 6th weekend. It's now up to 92.6 million. So Bullet Train is 8 million away from the $100 million mark, which would make it the 13th film of the year to get there. The question is, can it? It's getting very slow. And next couple of weeks, more new releases are hitting theaters that actually are competitive. So it does not seem likely Bullet Train will get to $100 million, which is a pretty big disappointment for Sony. Keeping up the goodwill is Top Gun Maverick, that is still in the top 5 in its 16th week. It drops 48%, got a big bump with Labor Day, but took a pretty big dip in its 16th weekend. 3.1 million, it's a 48% dip, up to 705 million. Again, you can already buy this, rent this film for a pretty high price, though, on digital. And it probably going past Labor Day. Its highest marks on this box office is probably now over, as new films are finally coming out to compete. But Top Gun Maverick, 15 of its 16 weeks, it's been in the top 5. Just a magical story at the box office. And then wrapping up the top 5 is The Invitation, also from Sony. Again, Top Gun Maverick was Paramount. The Invitation, also from Sony, 2.6 million, a 45% drop in its 3rd weekend. And The Invitation is up to $18.8 million domestically. Not, again, a strong number for Sony. Just not a lot of buildup, no promotion really for this movie. I think this is one of the most forgettable movies I can remember even talking about in the box office, with getting just no headlines. And its biggest headline was that it was the #1 movie of the month, of the weekend for one of the worst August weekends of all time. So it can add that to the list. Other than that, that is the top 5 for this past weekend. Top Gun Maverick dominating still at the domestic box office is at $705 million. The rest of the top 10 looks like Doctor Strange 2 and number 2 at 411, Jurassic World 3 at 375 domestic, The Batman's up to 369 at number 4, Minions: The Rise of Gru at 362, Thor: Love and Thunder, that's at 342, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, 190, Elvis getting to $150 million domestic, even though it's finally available with no extra cost on HBO Max. Uncharted's at 148, and wrapping up the top 10 at 122 is Nope, giving itself some more ground from the number 11 film, which was Lightyear, at 118. At 105 is The Lost City. So Bullet Train quickly getting up to the ranks, could possibly get into the top 50. It is now in the top 15 domestic. The question is, it needs 8 million to get to $100 million. They probably won't get there, but we shall see. Top Gun Maverick also very much ahead in the worldwide charts. 1.4 billion now for Top Gun Maverick. Unbelievable story. Another huge story is that Jurassic World Dominion is now under $3 million to get to the $1 billion club. It's at 997.4. So around really like $2.6 million it needs worldwide for it to get into the $1 billion club, which will join the whole Jurassic World trilogy to get to over $1 billion, which would be something, but still amazing numbers internationally. 621 million international for Jurassic World compared to 375 domestic. Unreal numbers there. Doctor Strange is at number 3 of 952. Minions: The Rise of Gru is over $900 million worldwide at 903. So we have 4 films, all American, that are over 900 million domestic. The Batman's at number 5 of 767. Thor: Love and Thunder at number 6 of 749. And then wrapping up the top 10 is at 9 is Fantastic Beasts and Secrets of Dumbledore. That's at 404.5. And Sonic just hanging on to the top 10 with 404.07. So that is this weekend's box office. So this is one of the lowest box office weekends domestically since January, with only one film getting over $10 million this weekend, and really the rest of them below $5 million. So not great news there, but a nice surprise turn from Barbarian, which was supposed to open around $5-6 million. But it did open to at least getting a movie over $10 million this weekend. So coming up in theaters this week, coming up on tomorrow, I think for a couple days in theaters, will be Clerks 3. It'll be in theaters for very much a limited, I think, a day or two. But the big movie coming out this weekend is The Woman King. That's coming out this upcoming Friday, starring Viola Davis, John Boyega, and LaShonda Lynch, from director Gina Prince Bythewood, coming off of The Old Guard from Netflix that she directed. So we shall see if that makes any big headways as we're coming up to the last couple of Saturdays here, weekends here in the month of September. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys soon.